C.Pop Insider Magazine, and we have an exclusive interview today with Graham Goddard, artist, designer, and founder of Winery MAs. Make sure you guys tune in. I really wanted to grab an exclusive with you because, as you know, we have Caribbean Heritage Month coming up, and it's super important just to give that shine, especially to everything you do. So we're gonna get right into it.
Okay.
So
Sounds good.
as an artist, do you want to walk me through your creative process from concept to final design? I know you have a number of pieces you have in museums, exhibitions, and of the sort. So walk us through that.
Sure, yeah, and every single artwork is different. The process is different depending on the intention. So whether I'm creating a painting on a canvas, a site-specific installation that's a 50-foot that's supposed to be installed in front of a museum, or if I'm creating costumes, usually I have a vision. I have an idea of what the piece is supposed to look like, where I'm trying to go, what the direction is, and I work backwards from there, right? But ultimately, my artistic practice is based in my creative spirit. So I'm always tapping into the authenticity of what this truly means to me and honoring the artwork, honoring the goal of, let's say, if the artwork is supposed to say something, or if there's a specific direction that I'm trying to take the aesthetic, or if I'm just trying to add to art history in my own specific way. Because as a creative individual, what I'm really doing is I'm just expressing myself and I'm enjoying this life. It's not to be an artist, it's not to create art just for art's sake or to, create beautiful stuff. For me, it's more about, I've been put on this earth to experience this beautiful life, and I want to honor God's blessing. And one of the really great ways to honor this is to be creative and to create beautiful things so that my brothers and sisters can enjoy and experience, and hopefully together we can learn about ourselves and learn about life and learn about the human condition and what this experience truly means to us. So the process for me usually is rooted in how I feel in my spirit, how I feel this artwork or this creative project should go and what direction it should be in. And then I'll troubleshoot through whatever needs to happen and what needs to be executed.
That's right. That's right. I love that. So how do your Caribbean roots influence your artistic language?
So
when painting.
Right. So I'm from the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, right? I was born in Trinidad. My family immigrated when I was 6 years old to the United States, and I've been in California for about 25 years. So my Caribbean roots are really precious and special to me, right? It influences my daily life, and this question is interesting because my artwork per se isn't necessarily rooted in the narrative of me being a Caribbean American man. I believe that who I am and what I am resonates out into whatever I decide to put into this world, right? To answer your question, I think the answer is a little different than people would think in terms of Caribbean roots, right? So every culture has something really special. Right? Every culture, for example, if you've ever been to the islands, people are very warm and loving, and the language is colorful, and
the food is bomb.
The food is colorful in itself, flavorful. Like, we cook with spices, and just like the culture, the land itself has a variety of different, options for people to cook in. So everything that our culture has from the Caribbean and the diaspora is full of verve. Right? And that resonates within the people.
That's right.
So for me, I believe that in my spirit, I have that Caribbean root is deeply ingrained in who I am and how I conduct my life in general. So naturally, what's going to happen is anything that I do that comes out of my spirit is going to be rooted in this ancestry, right? In this thing that makes us special.
That's right.
So my work has that. I believe my work has that, just like a grandmother's food would have her touch, her spirit, her love in that food, right? If you have callaloo from Trinidad, you're gonna feel Granny's cooking in there, her love in there, everything.
And you're gonna wanna come back.
Right. So if you experience my artwork, hopefully there's a sense of the spirit within me that resonates through whatever I'm doing. So that's how my Caribbean roots impacts my artwork, through the vibration and the energy of just who I am and who we are as a people. So I'm not really forcing a narrative. I'm definitely not interested in speaking from any perspective culturally, because I am what I am. Right?
It's not on you, it's in you.
It's in me. And I don't have to fake it. I don't have to show you it. It's just here. And what I'm doing is I'm just creating trying to be authentic and pure with it, and not be impacted by my brothers and sisters who are also creating, right? So nothing about the art market I'm interested in. I'm not interested in trying to figure out how to fit in and try to make my art digestible for the art community or critics and so on. What I'm really trying to do is tap into what makes this pure, right? Whether it's an artwork or whether it's these beautiful costumes, authenticity is, I believe, what makes the creative spirit special. What is a gift? If I have a gift and I've been blessed to give a gift to the world, that is what will make this really, really beautiful for everyone. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
Thank you.
And I love how you stuck to the answer.
Yes.
But you were like, no.
right.
I'm gonna be true to who I am.
Absolutely.
And what it is.
Yes.
I love that. So yes, definitely the beautiful costumes. When it comes to costumes, do you see them as fashion, art, or cultural storytelling, or all three?
Honestly, not even all three. None. Yeah, none. So to me, the costumes are, for a lack of a better word, freedom armor, right? That's how I would describe them, right? So, for example, the carnival in itself was rooted in emancipation, in freedom, in the ability to enjoy your body. These beautiful women here, they're enjoying their body. There's an empowerment that comes with it. Carnival is rooted in the emancipation of the enslaved Africans in the Caribbean, who saw slave masters who were creating their own masquerade balls, and these enslaved Africans were like, you know what, we're going to do our own thing. We're going to represent in our own way, create our own costumes, and before you know it, over the years, Carnival turned into an expression of self, of a community. And of course, when they got their freedom and our community found our independence, this thing turned into something so beautiful where we could express ourselves in multiple different directions, right? So for me as a creative individual, I look at this as an opportunity for our community to wear an example of whatever that is that allows us to free up, right? So to me, this is not artwork, right? To me, this is not fashion, right? For example, if we were to look at a military officer who's fighting for their country, right? That is not fashion.
No.
That uniform is not artwork, but a designer created that uniform, right?
Right.
And of course, we could put a military costume, or excuse me, a military uniform into a fashion show and call it fashion, but it's really not fashion. It is a uniform representing a nation.
The history behind it.
For me, as the creator here, and I'm sure a lot of designers create because this is a form of fashion for them and artwork, but for me, these are warriors. These are individuals who are fighting for their own individual freedom in the 21st century. And when they put this armor on, it is armor of freedom. It is armor of emancipation. It is armor of embracing my body, how beautiful it is, the dance and the culture. This is about how we have the ability to do what we want and create what we want with no inhibitions, and nobody could tell us anything, right? So whether you are enjoying yourself with your family and having a great time just chipping on the road, or whether you're splitting on the road and bacchanal and you're having a great time and jumping up with your flag, it's all about you enjoying the freedom of being able to say, you know what, this is mine, this is ours, and I want to express myself in my own individual way. So these pieces for me have always been about, first and foremost, our people and my people here, specifically in this territory in Los Angeles, and trying to identify how I can honor the tradition and the culture of my predecessors who have come before me, who have created these beautiful costumes. And there is a language within the design of these costumes globally.
Yes.
So I want to honor the tradition, but also the truth is, this is something where I'm looking and saying, I want to create an authentic body of work that allows them to be who they are in LA and to show Los Angeles and Hollywood that we are here. The immigrants and the transplants and all the individuals who are part of the culture, they also have a chance to express themselves and to share our culture with so many people who have no idea how special this is. Because this is a whole nother world, and in Los Angeles, I mean, you rarely see this gift. So this is, for me, this is a, you know, as a visual artist, it's a blessing to be able to create these artworks and to share with everybody how special the land is that I was born in, how special that culture is, you know? So that's kind of like why I do it. And of course, you know, it's its own beast, right? It's its own creation. Definitely not art, definitely not fashion.
Right. I love it.
Yes.
So from artist, designer, and then let's get right into Winery MAs.
Sure.
Winery! Winery! Say winery! Winery! Put your hand in the air, say winery! Winery! Say winery! Winery! Say winery!
Let's do it. So what inspired you to start it?
Yeah,
Where did it all begin?
Absolutely. So of course, Winery MAS is the mass band that I created back in 2018 for the Hollywood Carnival. We are pretty much the largest band in the Hollywood Carnival. We've been representing for so long with so many people that it is a family. And the way it came together was I was out here in Los Angeles as part of a dance class. And every week I would go and work out and have a great time in this dance class. And one year, the ladies in the dance class said, you know, we're not sure we're going to come out to the Hollywood Carnival because, you know, they were too familiar with what was happening, right? They were saying, you know, we're not really used to the vibe and the pretty mass that is normally part of the Hollywood Carnival. They were just kind of like not feeling it. And they were privately expressing this to me. And they weren't sure if they were going to go out. And I said, there's no way you cannot you know, come out and enjoy this. Like, why would you not come? And they were just saying, you know, it's expensive stuff. And, you know, it's just a lot. And I said, well, look, if I create affordable costumes and we all come together as a family, let's just make something special happen and not put too much on it. And we just tested it the first year, and I created these costumes as affordable as I could and as authentically as I could. And before you knew it, we had a bunch of people out there wilding out with us.
And you know what? That is literally the true meaning behind the Caribbean culture as well. Coming together as family, as community, making it happen. No matter, one hand washes the other as you pull all of your talents and all of your love in, and you just make it happen. So that's, you really brought it over and then made it pop.
Yes, absolutely. And to your point, also in the Caribbean, so in Trinidad, for example, when my parents and grandparents were creating mass, what they call mass for Carnival. Mass, by the way, so they call each mass band or each group a mass band, right? So mass is short for masquerade, right? And then band is kind of like a band of people or a bandwagon, a band of thieves, right? And each band is named differently. So this band happens to be a band of a grouping of family members. And in the Caribbean, originally what people would do with their mass bands was they would do something very similar where they would just be at home, create their own costumes, come together, you know, all sit around the table or put something together in the backyard, and it would be a nice production line. And they would create these costumes. So very similar to Los Angeles, where we started doing something where we had these costumes come together. And before you knew it, Winery MAS grew into a big family. It turned into a situation where I recognized that in the diaspora in Los Angeles, there is a group of people who are scattered, right? We don't have an epicenter in the Caribbean community or in the diaspora out here. In Los Angeles, we have communities who are really locked in. For example, I used to live in Glendale. In Glendale, California, the Armenians are just so phenomenal at coming together. It's just beautiful to see how different tribes within Southern California come together, and I feel like the Caribbean community could really, really benefit from coming together. So I was very, very adamant about making sure that Winery, at the very least, could be a resource for people who were in the diaspora who wanted to meet each other,
Right.
who wanted to come together. And so I call Winery MAs a family. And we're doing things like we have a thank you ceremony
Yes.
coming up this weekend, right?
Exciting.
And it's going to be very exciting. And basically every year I identify people within the community who we want to thank,
Right.
who we just say, listen, we appreciate you. This is why we love you. And, you know, we honor them. And it's an excuse to bring everyone together and to tighten that bond that is so important for a community, especially in a territory like this in the United States, where you could just get lost in the sauce, right? There's so much going on that you can almost forget that you have your people here who actually have your back. If you need an attorney, if you need a
Right.
doctor, if you need somebody, like, why not look for your people first just to see if you could support their business or
Right.
see if they would have your best interests in mind first, right?
Right.
So it's just a beautiful, beautiful synchronous thing that Winery MAS was created for. And I feel very blessed to be able to lead the show here and to try my best to, bring it together.
And it's
Yeah.
making a lot of noise. I love that.
Oh, I beat him.